Hey folks, AI coding assistants, they are here to stay. Whether you like it or not, whether you're fresh out of college or have been programming for 10 years, this is the new reality. So in today's video, I want to go over a couple of resources that you can use to get up to speed ASAP. I dug through a lot of slop, and I do mean a lot of slop, and I want to give you the nuggets, the really useful things. So you have been given the keys to these really fast racing machines. Let's see how we can get you up to speed as fast as possible so you don't end up in a ditch. So in order to effectively control these machines, you kind of need to know what's going on under the hood, right? You kind of need that mechanical sympathy. And there's Andrej Karpathy on YouTube. He's an LLM researcher, ex-OpenAI, and everything they put out is gold. This is a brilliant researcher, but he has like the canny ability to explain everything really simply in really understandable terms. And basically everything he puts online is worth its weight in gold. But if you watch only one thing, watch the 1 hour long introduction to large language models video, because that will give you everything you need to understand this technology and its strengths and limitations. Now, if you like reading and not just watching videos online, I've read a lot of books on this subject, and most of them are meh, but one of them I found really good, and that's the book, it's this book, AI Engineering by Huyen. And it goes into depth on how these machines work. Like chapter 1 is what are large language models and how do they work. So that's a really great chapter. And then they go in some detail about topics that I think are not essential for people utilizing foundation models or utilizing large language models, but they are essential if you're building them. But I don't think a lot of us will be doing that any day soon. But there's a lot of chapters on prompt engineering. That's a very good chapter. And chapter 6 on RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and coding agents, or no, just agents, where coding agents are like an example. Those are essential reading for everyone getting started with these stuff. They explain like the limits, the security risks, how they're implemented. I don't think we all need to know how they're implemented, but again, that mechanical sympathy, if you know what's going on under the hood, you can leverage these tools like it's nobody's business. So AI engineering, great book. The one thing that I found was missing in the AI engineering book, or it was written too soon basically, is on the chapter about coding agents, they talk about tool integration and LLM agents calling tools and using outputs. And that probably was before MCP was invented, the Model Context Protocol. So definitely also do a Google search on MCP, or on YouTube, look for how to implement an MCP server in your favorite language, because if you are starting today, chances are not every tool integration that you want or need will be implemented yet, and you might have to do it yourself. You might even vibe code it yourself with the help of an AI coding assistant. But so MCP is also like something essential you need to know about. Now, next one is also a book, and it's Vibe Coding by Jean Kim and Steve Yegge. I can't show this book simply because it's not out yet. I think it's scheduled to release for October somewhere. So I put it on your watch list, on your pre-orders. I didn't like the title. When I first saw it, I thought, oh no, vibe coding. But the more I hear Gene and Steve talk about their journey, I recognize that they are 2 steps ahead of me. They are hitting the same roadblocks that I'm seeing. They are like internalizing the same best practices and heuristics that I'm listing. So I think this book will become one of the landmark books about AI-assisted coding in the near future. The only thing I don't like, still don't like, is the name. It's either a really smart marketing strategy to ride on the vibe coding wave, or it's like the agile all over again. It's like word soup, word dilution. It doesn't mean anything. But the book is really talking about coding with the help of AI coding agents. You don't touch the keyboard to write code, you just prompt these things. So it's really relevant for the coming months and years, I think. So I'm not going to go full spoiler and spoil like every chapter in the book, but I do want to highlight some points so you know where this work is heading. First, one of my previous videos was these things are not slot machines. In a sense, they kind of are, because if you have AI coding agents, what they allow you to do is you can run 5, 10, 50 of them in parallel. So you can play 10 slot machines at the same time. And that leverages optionality. Things you couldn't do before, like build the app in TypeScript, build the app in React Native, and then figure out which one is best. That was stupidly expensive before, but that actually becomes realistic now. So that's one of their big themes, optionality and leveraging that. I love that. And the other big part of the book that I'm looking forward to is guardrails to put in place, because these things are seriously powerful machines, but they're seriously naive and stupid machines. And you need to be putting guardrails in place. So the book will also cover tons of those. And I'm building them myself, but I'm really curious to compare notes really soon. They also have a great YouTube series, actually, where they do podcasts covering topics in the book and topics not covered in the book. And I really enjoy watching these two guys. So that's also a good recommendation. Okay, now let's get to one of the big topics. Which tools should you choose? And for me, I don't really care, and you shouldn't really care either. It's a function of how experienced are you with coding, and how fluent are you with AI usage today. So it's all like a journey, and I want to take you through my journey, or what your journey could look like. So I have something to show you. There we go. Table stakes today, not only for programmers, for everyone, is these web-based interfaces, ChatGPT or Claude. You ask them a question, you paste in some code, you ask it some questions about the code, stuff like that. So these chat-based interfaces really are table stakes. But I expect most people already played with them, but these are table stakes. Now, once you get familiar with these, you can start to level up and start taking a look at programming stuff. And the first level is what I like to call the GitHub Copilot level, or at least the basic. There's this little chat window in my VS Code, or there's this little JetBrains AI chat window in my JetBrains suite. And you have also forks of VS Code, Cursor, Kiro, there's a lot of them. But that's for me the next level, where you are programming and they're there. You don't have to switch to a browser window, they're just there. And you can ask questions. And since, I don't know what, a couple of months, you can also put them in edit mode or agent mode, which allows them to read your code, write to your code, build your code, run your tests. So this is becoming the more agentic stuff, the chapter 6 in the AI engineering book. So this is where it gets interesting for programmers. And I'm just mentioning a few. There's a lot of others, but these are ones I had exposure with and which I liked, or at least the first two I use daily on my job. The last ones I have not used, but I hear a lot of people with positive feedback. So Cursor is a VS Code clone with built-in support for all this. And Kiro, I wanted to shout out, not just because it's the new kid on the block and I'm a YouTuber, but because some tools, or every tool shines a light on a different aspect or the different guardrails. And Kiro is one of the few tools that have everything should be a plan or a specification document, and you should think about your prompts and your specifications before you just vibe it. Kiro is one of the first tools that start from this philosophy. And there are other methodologies online, like the BMAT method, and you can backport all these guardrails back into your own workflows. You can use specification documents with GitHub Pilot, but Kiro is the first one that is by design doing it. So that's why I wanted to give it a shout out. So yeah, these are programming environments where there's this on the side little AI agentic stuff helping you. So that's the next level. Once you're comfortable here, your journey does not need to end. You can also explore more stuff. And this is the level I am currently at. I started this only 3-4 weeks ago, so I haven't been doing this very long. But I just looked at what was best of breed then, and Claude Code was the goat. And I still find it very useful, so that's what I'm using. But there's also like the Google Gemini CLI, and there's a more open format Aider, which I also wanted to give a shout out because that supports or provides great support for open router, multiple models, and local models. So if you care about running your models locally or like within your organization, there are also options for that. But what are these tools? What is this rung of the ladder? These are tools that get out of your way, and they're CLI based. So you can use them like you could use a GitHub Copilot, like they live in your IDE. But I'm learning more and more to lean into the not caring that much. I still care, but not caring that much about the code. And if I have a CLI interface, I am not tempted to dive into the code myself. So these tools give you a CLI-based interface, like a little chat window, that's it. And you can ask them to program and to do stuff. So everything a GitHub Copilot does and more. And I'm not going to go into details on how to use these tools. There are YouTube tutorials up the wazoo. So if one of these sounds interesting, you just should look up one of those tutorials and give it a go. So this is the level I'm currently at, working with one of these CLI-based coding agents. Story doesn't end there. For me, it does, because next levels are going to cost you some dollars. That's also a concern, or if that's also a concern of you, like how much does this cost? Up until this level, it's all pretty reasonable. So the higher up levels are going to cost you some bucks. And next level up is parallelizing this stuff. So just spinning up more instances of Cloud Code, spinning up more instances of Gemini CLI, having them work in parallel. For example, writing your app in TypeScript or another one in another programming language to verify like which one is best, or have it one generate documentation, have the other generate tests for your code, stuff like that. So that's the next level, the multi-agent, but you're still in control kind of level. It's cool, but this is frontier work. I have not seen good tools that are like excellent at giving you an overview of your agents. I see a lot of people messing around with tmugs and window managers. There's some web-based stuff, but I haven't seen anything really interesting. So if you know of tools in this space, like managing your agent swarm, please, and when they like don't cost $1,000 per week, please let me know in the comments below. But I have one more level. I do a lot of work with larger companies, enterprises. And I don't think this technology is ready for enterprise use, but the story that Factory AI is selling is one I am interested in. So if you are an enterprise developer and you are curious about what will all this stuff mean for me, you're not safe. These things will be coming for you. But Factory has like a really good, I think a really realistic view of what it could mean in an enterprise setting. So that's one to look out for if you are working in that context. And now we're going to the left. So it's not a jump in maturity, but a jump in the target audience actually. And that is vibe coding, pure vibe coding, as in the I don't care about the code, let's go. I want to build a prototype kind of apps. And there's two I've played with, not really heavily used, but Lovable and GitHub Spark. Those are like the tools that are targeted at non-technical people. Technical people can use them, of course, but like these market themselves as you give me a prompt, I give you an app. And why am I talking about these vibe coding tools in a video for software engineers? Simply because not long from now, 6 months, a year, 2 years, I don't know, depends on how conservative your organization is. People in the organization are going to vibe code apps. It'll just happen because it will enable them to do things that were previously impossible. They had to like talk to an IT team and prioritize backlog items, stuff like that. That shit might go away. Why do you need to know about these tools? So you can get a feel of what they can do, what they cannot do. But more importantly, once your a colleague from finance comes over and says like, hey, I vibe coded this app, can you please vet it and make sure it works and put it like in production? That's when we software engineers need to take a look at this code and vet it. Maybe there's like security scanning, vulnerability scanning in your landscape today. But if it's not, that will be on us to like get these apps production ready. And then it kind of helps to know what kind of technologies these tools use, what their limitations are, where the usual gotchas are, stuff like that. So you don't end up dropping your databases in production. So let's zoom out a bit. That's my like AI coding fluency ladder. Start here. No, don't start here. The point for this ladder for me is if you are just getting started, or if you've been programming for a while with these AI coding agents, for me this is like a logical plan to take. And every phase you do, every rung of the ladder you step up, you build new kinds of intuition and you face new kinds of challenges. So you have to come up with new kinds of guardrails. And yeah, I think if every senior engineer is like comfortable right around here, like managing an agent, managing some agents, I think that's where very soon we might be headed. So that's where I'm pointing my guns. But if you are somewhere else, if you've never used these tools, great places to start is here. So I would suggest just pick a lane or pick a tool that sounds interesting to you personally and start playing with it. Yeah, maybe let's proceed on that, to start playing with it. If you're in an enterprise and you're being encouraged to use these tools, that's kind of a privilege. I see a lot of people whine like, oh, I'm forced to use these tools. And I understand the frustration and it's not fun getting forced to do stuff. But if you're getting paid to experiment with these stuff, you are in a position of privilege. But for everyone else, it's also like a position of privilege time. You have to start taking a look at these things in your own time. And I would suggest that you look around and think about the one thing that is like this little frustrating thing, manual work that's really bugging you, or like this one project you had that you've been postponing because it's a couple of days of work or it's a couple of weeks of work and I don't have the time or the energy. Trust me, if you open up one of these tools and start programming with it, it'll get done. Not only because it's faster, it might be faster, like the first prototyping phase is seriously fast, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun, so it gives you a motivational boost as well. So that's my recommendation. Pick one of these tools. Pick like one of those long-lived, unrealized dream projects you have and just get coding. Okay, next topic you should be investigating, especially if you're fresh out of college, and that is, should I still learn to code? Yes, but yes, you should still know how to code because you will be looking at tons of code in your career. It'll become less important to actually write every character yourself, but you still need to know about software construction and design. Now, there's 3 categories I handpicked that I think are important today and will become even more important when these tools hit like the wide population of software engineers. The first category is software architecture and design. I have a small book that's like really quick reading. It's called Philosophy of Software Engineering by John Oosterhout. Yep. It's a bit of a controversial pick, but I like spending some time getting better at software design and also system design and architecture. But one of the basic principles that will become super important is modularity. Be it in microservices or like in your modulith, thinking about bounds and boundaries and APIs between those boundaries, that will become hugely important. It's already hugely important today, but it will become only more important. So software design will not be wasted effort. Pick number 2, very old book. It's Domain-Driven Design. This is the original by Eric Evans, but there's a lot of alternative books. But I think this also will become an essential skill, just as it is today. It'll become even more important because all those vibe coding, non-technical colleagues, they talk the language of the business. They don't talk the language of Node or .NET. And one of the core tenets of domain-driven design is ubiquitous language. So your code should express itself in business terms. And I think that will become really powerful if like your specifications, your vibe coded apps, your enterprise backend code, if it all like is embedded in the language of the business, that will be like a force multiplier for getting shit done. So domain-driven design will not be a wasted skill. Third category is, for me, the most important of all the guardrails I'm putting in place with these tools, and that is test automation. Now, this is a very specific book that goes into, I think, .NET, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, .NET. So the technology is not important, but like having a opinionated view on how to do test automation will become very important. The things I am looking for, I've been looking for these things for 10 years, but the things I'm looking for today, which will become super important, are tests that can run in isolation, tests that can run in parallel, tests that are super fast. I'm talking seconds, not minutes, not hours, not overnight builds. I'm talking about running your entire suite in seconds to minutes. Why? Because these coding agents, once you put like test automation guardrails in place, these coding agents, they are brute forcing their way through the implementation, and they will run your test suite and they will build your code really quickly a lot of times. So test automation is for me the third essential skills. Software design and system design, domain-driven design, and like modularity concerns, and test automation, performance test automation, but also like unit testing, integration testing will become hugely important. So that will not be a waste of time. And that, my friends, that's all you need. If you know what's under the hood, if you know what guardrails to put in place and like how to play 1,000 slot machines at a time, if you pick the tool and if you pick the project, and don't forget about the fundamentals, you are good. You are set for the following wave of innovation. So please let me know in the comments what project you are working on and what tools you're using, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.